Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our next speaker, CJ Grace.
Thank you so much, Lakeisha. Well, I had a motto when I was dealing with both breast cancer and an unfaithful husband. If you don't laugh, you cry, and I would much rather laugh. I tried to find absurd humor in every situation I was facing. And I'm a two-time breast cancer survivor. I have one of those BRCA genes that gives me more susceptibility to getting cancer, but I really didn't want that cancer victim role. Numerous studies have shown that laughter has both psychological and physiological benefits. So, what makes you laugh? For me, anything done by the Monty Python team works every time. As a former BBC journalist, I'd always prided myself on being up to date with world affairs. But when I was doing cancer treatment, I rarely bothered to keep up with the news because it's all bad news. Instead, I focused on comedies. Now, seeing humor in life isn't the same thing as always cultivating a positive attitude. That's hard to manufacture. And I can think of one or two people who sternly insisted that I had to stay positive when I was going through my cancer. And they themselves had manifested bucket loads of negativity when problems arose in their own lives. So, of course, do whatever you can to keep your spirits up, but don't ever feel bad about feeling bad. Each side of the positive thinking debate has research to support it. Some studies show a positive attitude does help cancer recovery, while others say that positive thinking doesn't improve the outcome. But the fact remains, it's impossible to be positive all the time, especially when you're faced with things like breast cancer or breast cancer treatment or being in pain. But laughter can take your mind off your difficulties. American political journalist Norman Cousins was immobile and in excruciating pain from ankylosing spondylitis that his doctor said he was unlikely to ever be able to recover from. But he found out that just watching stuff like Marx Brothers films and Candid camera and getting 10 minutes of induced hearty laughter would give him 2 hours of painless sleep. And eventually he was almost completely pain-free. So I'm a humorist, but also a very anal BBC-trained journalist. And when I wrote my new self-help memoir, that's My Wild Ride, How to Thrive After Breast Cancer and Infidelity, it had to be not only funny, but also well-researched and hard-hitting. I bring up serious issues, but there is always a humorous angle. Like the fact that right now, as I'm talking to you, I am completely and utterly braless. Why? One of the books that I read was, because I read a lot of books to research my book, this one, Dress to Kill, the link between breast cancer and bras. Now, it's a great title, but what is really amazing about this book is the compelling evidence it presents of the link between bras and breast cancer. And they say, the authors, that the link is actually stronger than that between smoking and lung cancer. Wow. Sadly, mainstream cancer groups haven't accepted this, pointing to just one study done in 2014 showing no link with no control group and which only looked at postmenopausal women in whom the damaging effects of bras were much weaker. Then some of my friends thought I was completely nuts to turn down mastectomies and go for lumpectomies when I had breast cancer. I'm happy with my decision, but who knows, maybe my tombstone will read, "Here lies CJ Grace because she refused to lop off her boobs." Nevertheless, breast reconstruction can cause all kinds of problems. Many women now choose to go flat after mastectomies, as breast implant illness is very real. Nicole Deruda's Facebook support group for breast implant illness, for example, has more than 170,000 members to date. And that's despite a biased new industry-funded study that tries to imply a big factor is that the women who complain about breast implant illness are just neurotic. Seriously, that study is so bad that it's good in a Monty Python kind of way. The 5-year survival statistics for early stage non-metastatic breast cancer are close to 100%. That's pretty good. But that being said, cancer is a crapshoot. I'm not a doctor, so I'd never want to tell someone else how they should deal with their cancer. But that didn't stop people from bombarding me with unsolicited advice. Some insisted that the chemo and radiation I underwent was toxic and wouldn't work. Others declared that the alternative therapies that I chose to do as well were pure quackery. Did I make the right decisions? All I can say is, to quote Monty Python, I'm not dead yet. And I still have the Spamalot badge here, right here to prove it. So I'm CJ Grace, author of My Wild Ride, How to Thrive After Breast Cancer and Infidelity. And I'd like to thank you for inviting me to speak at this global breast cancer conference today.